Someone was standing in front of the house and rings the doorbell, which was a girl, and she awkwardly smiles while looking at him. And MC asks her to silently come to his room, because if anyone were to see her, he might get in trouble. In the end, both of them arrive to his room. After that, she quickly gets inside his room, which shocked him. As a result, he asks her to stop, because she haven't paid him for letting her to come here. As a result, she slowly asks to him, "That's right, and how much I owe you?" After hearing it, he started to blush, while telling her to just hold his hands as payment. To which she replies if he is just okay with that, because he is always asking something low as a payment. After a while, both of them is sitting in his bed while he was holding her hands, and then he says she can't hear anything, so why she is trying this hard. But she didn't cared about what he said. Meanwhile, he thoughts to himself that this girl name is Akira, and he is his brother's ex-girlfriend. And the reason his brother dumped her is because she has a overbearing personality. Even still getting dumped, she still can't give up on his brother. And then his brother drops his book, which she heard it, and she started to take heavy breaths, while saying she feels really alive. Meanwhile, MC thoughts to himself she is using his weakness as her advantage. Meanwhile, her eyes started turn into heart shape, and she is wishing his brother good luck on his studies. And his weakness is that he loves her. All of a sudden, he hears something on his phone, which was his brother saying he is going to the convenience store, and asks to him if he wants something. As a result, he leaves his room, but she started to listen to his footsteps by putting her ears on the wall. She even spies his brother while walking on the road. Afterwards, she tremblingly asks to MC that she wants to put a listening device in his brother's bedroom. But this made him to get angry. As a result, he shouts at her by saying, "They already talked about not doing anything illegal." As a result, she slightly cries by saying she will give up on that. But then she suddenly says he is letting her to listen to his brother just so he can flirt with her, which is really a trash move. Which shocks him, and he closes his eyes while thinking to himself that's the word he doesn't want to hear from her. Afterwards, she says he got a message from his brother, right? Which is making her to get jealous, so she pouts while saying to him, it must be nice for MC because he is really close to his brother. Which just confused him, so he slightly blushes while looking at her. After a while, his brother arrives to his home, but then he suddenly notices that there is only one pair of shoes are here. After hearing that noise, MC realizes his brother is back. As a result, she started to put her ears against the door to hear his brother walk. But to their surprise, his brother started to tap on the door and calls his little brother. As a result, he opens the door, but then his brother looks inside and says he didn't saw two pairs of shoes there, and asks to MC if his friend already gone. To which he confidently replies that his friend left to get something from their home. Meanwhile, he thoughts to himself he was being optimistic, because his brother will forget everything he have, so always borrowed from others, which made him to assume his brother won't notice that details. In the end, he goes on telling his brother to not come knocking on his door just because of this small details. As a result, his brother gets shocked and tells sorry because he didn't realize he became a grown-up. He leaves his little brother's room. Afterwards, he closes the door and asks that girl to come out of the closet. But she didn't answer anything, so he opens the door. But she falls on him, which made him to get flustered. As a result, he suddenly flips and both of them falls on the floor. She then, with a nosebleed, tells to him she finally got to meet him in the flesh. But after seeing her face, his nose gets a nosebleed. All of a sudden his phone rings, which was his brother, and he asks him about what's that sound. To which he replies it's nothing big, but he says he will now come to MC's room to check what happened. Which shocks him. As a result, he asks her to get back to closet again, but this time he hands her some tissue paper. Meanwhile, she panickingly says she broke her back, and now she needs help. In the end, he somehow managed to trick his brother from finding out. Afterwards at his school, he says he took the picture of his brother, as per she wanted, which was his brother giving a silly pose for the photo. As a result, she started blush by asking to him on how much she owns him for the photo. To which he blushingly replies all he wants to do is pat her in the head. But then she quickly says she will buy it. In the end, he sent her the picture of his brother, and while she is admiring the picture, he is patting her in the head. But this just shocked him because she looks really happy while watching that photo. Afterwards, while walking for a while, she suddenly notices the pose he is giving. As a result, she goes on by asking to him that he is giving the same pose as the action figure that was in his closet. To which he awkwardly smiles while saying yeah. She then goes on by cropping his photo out of the picture, to which he thoughts to himself, he got cropped out. All of a sudden his brother walks near him, and after seeing him, he got scared, and then he thoughts to himself on why his brother is at the first-year building. But then after seeing her, his brother got angry. And he goes on by asking to MC on why she is with him. As a result, he tries to lie by saying they accidentally bumped into each other. And that's all, so there is nothing weird with this. To which his brother replies everything is weird about this. Because this girl used call him again and again, so he decides to ignore some calls. But because of that, while their parents and everyone is sleeping, she came in front of their home and she started to shout by saying if he doesn't like her being persistent, he should at least attend the call. As a result, she cries by telling him to not abandon her. In the end, MC says he remembers it very well. Afterwards, while saying his life is really peaceful after the breakup, he looks at her, but he got shocked. Because she is muttering to herself while trembling, he is talking about her, and he is looking directly at her. In the end, with a flustered face, she says she is wet, which just made his brother to get disgusted, while MC's heart just skipped a beat. Meanwhile, she started to run away. In the end, his brother got disappointed because of his past mistakes. Afterwards, while leaving, he taps on MC's back by giving him warning to not get involved with her. Afterwards, MC thoughts to himself that he can't leave her alone because she is really cute and hopeless at the same time. Afterwards, someone calls MC as a kind one and asks his homework. To which he replies he is not a kind one, so he should ask a different person. As a result, he started to beg for the homework. In the end, he gave him the homework. Afterwards, the school starts, and MC started to get worried. Because if his brother finds them together one more time, he won't be able to cover it up. As a result, he decides to tell Akira to restrain herself a little more. He then suddenly backs down by saying if she could have restrained more, they wouldn't even have this type of relationship in the first place. Also, for some reason, she doesn't even have a pulse in her eyes whenever they are together or she is alone. In the end, he decides to give up on her. But then the teacher calls someone to translate the meaning in the textbook. But that girl gets shocked. And then she panickingly searches for the answer. After seeing her struggling, MC helps her by telling her the page number. But after seeing him, she got irritated and turns away from him, which left MC confused. All of a sudden the class ends, so he asks her to sit. As a result, she slightly blushes while saying yes. But then the teacher suddenly calls MC as the kind one and tells him to bring the textbooks to the teacher's office, which made MC to get flustered. Afterwards, Akira is sitting outside and she was drinking juice. And she got shocked because someone called MC's name. As a result, she peeks from the window to find MC standing there. Meanwhile, it was that girl he helped before, and she was thanking him for helping her earlier. Also, she says she wanted to do it by herself without his help. In the end, she takes the notebooks he was carrying by saying it's the class president's duty to do this type of chores. As a result, he thoughts for a while, and he goes on by telling to her that this chores was given to him by the teacher himself, so he can't leave it and go. After saying it, he offers her half of the notebooks by saying she can have the half. To which she takes half of it, and they started to walk away, but she is staring at them with a dead eyes. Afterwards, the school ended, and while he is walking in the road, someone pulls him in an alleyway, which shocked him, and it was that girl who pulled him. As a result, he says she scared him because she pulled him out of nowhere. Afterwards, he tells her that they should stay low because his brother spotted him. Meanwhile, she mutters if that girl was his girlfriend, plus he is saying that they should lay low. In the end, she cryingly tells to him if he is going to stop trading places with her. But this made him to get flustered and confused. After a while, she gets relieved to hear that she was just a classmate. He then slightly blushes while saying he haven't changed his mind on her, plus his interest on her never changed. So he wants things to cool down a bit, but while he is telling her to lay low, she grabs his hands by saying no and gives him a kiss on his hands. Afterwards, she looks at him by saying she can't control herself, and she needs his help tomorrow, just as he used to help her all this time. Which made him to get flustered, and he thoughts to himself, she is a trashy girl, but on outside he just accepts her. As a result, she blushingly says she likes him, but as a second, because the first one is his brother. Afterwards, when he was a kid, MC was immersed into a show, which was the action figure he had in the closet. After seeing him, his dad and mom jokes at him by saying he is already in the grade 4 and still watching cartoons. Meanwhile, his brother just silently looks at him. Afterwards, when his school ended, he sees a group of kids standing there, but when he looked closer, they are bullying him by saying he will now take them to the river nearby and show them on how to swim. After seeing it, he remembers his idol from that cartoon. In the end, he puts the same pose and tells that kids to stop it. As a result, they just watched him silently. And then they all leaves that kid they were bullying. After seeing it, MC gets relieved. But then they suddenly grabs MC and tells to him that he will now show them on how to swim. In the meantime, his brother is also going back to his home. All of a sudden he notices something, which was his little brother sitting in the park, but he is fully wet. Afterwards he notices his brother, to which he says their mom will be worried if she finds this out. As a result, he says they should first get him dried up. As the time goes on, he asks to them on who did this to him, to which he shakes head silently. As a result, he sits in front of him by asking MC that if he tells the truth he won't tell it to anyone. As a result, he nods yes. But then his brother guesses correctly on what happened and calls his little brother that act of kindness was really cool. In the end, he started to cry, which made his brother to slightly smile and tells to him his brother is going to use his upperclassman power to help his little brother. After hearing it, he stops his brother by telling him to not take revenge, to which he replies he won't take revenge, but he goes on by muttering to himself that he will instead give them a lifelong scare. After that, it's been a week, and MC was shocked because the kids that bullied him is apologizing to him for what they did a week before. So he straight up asked his brother on what he did, to which he just says he confronted those bullies one by one. As a result, they stopped those bullying. After hearing it, MC gets really impressed, and from that point onwards he got 2 heroes. Afterwards, it's been 6 years, and he wakes up sleepy because he played games for a long time. After coming downstairs, he got shocked and tells to his brother that he woke up little sooner. All of a sudden he gets shocked because his brother says he bought his girlfriend to their home. Also, she really insisted to see his home at least once. She then timidly introduces her name to MC as Akira, but his brother asks her to let go of his hands. Meanwhile, for the MC, it was love at first sight. He then blushingly asks to his brother that their mom and dad aren't at home, so he can't introduce her to them, to which he replies he knows, and that's why he brought her to home today. After hearing it, he gets shocked, and he quickly gets ready to leave by telling to his brother. But this made him to get confused. Meanwhile, she was really happy, and she goes on by slowly telling to MC thank you. But this only made him to get flustered more. And after coming outside, he thought to himself she was really cute, and he already fell in love with her, which made him to freak out. He then goes on by realizing that Akira is on a whole another level compared to his brother's ex-girlfriends. Afterwards, while walking, he gets worried, because if they get married, he don't know how to react. In the end, 2 weeks passed by, and he sees his brother getting ready to leave in the morning. Afterwards, before leaving, he tells to MC that he will be late today, so he doesn't need dinner. As a result, he gets jealous and asks him if he is going on a date with his girlfriend. All of a sudden, he says they broke up, which made him to get happy. Afterwards, his brother was still complaining to him about her that she is too overbearing. Meanwhile, MC thought to himself if they got broken up, he still got a chance with her. Afterwards, he suddenly asks MC to not get too close to her in the school. In the end, he was silently standing in the rooftop. All of a sudden, he gets a flashback where she thanks him at the next day since he left him and his brother alone. Plus the time she was being really annoying with the MC. Not only she was being annoying, his brother and her didn't even broke up in a nice way. Afterwards, MC notices his brother sitting on bench and talking with his friends. But then he got more shocked to see that girl stalking on his brother from a distance. Afterwards, the bell rings. As a result, he decides to get back to his class. In the end, they left. After seeing it, she suddenly comes out and blushingly lies in the table, right where he was sitting. Afterwards, she gets shocked because she got caught by MC. He then goes on by asking her on what she is doing since they got broken up, right? And now she looks like a stalker to which she starts to get flustered, and she goes on by saying that his brother is her hero, and she is willing to sacrifice her life for him. Hearing this, MC gets really irritated. But as the time goes on, his heart started to beat really fast, and he asks to her that's the exact reason why his brother broken up with her, to which she replies it's fine, because they only broken up once. Afterwards, he suddenly asks to her if she got a good attendance rate. In the end, both of them arrives in an empty classroom, and she asks to him, he is bunking the class with ease, with a following question on why he suddenly led her to an empty classroom, which shocks him, to which he suddenly replies he wants to help her. As a result, her eyes suddenly turns dead. But MC goes on by asking if she doesn't want to get back with his brother. As a result, she thoughts to herself for a while, and she goes on by saying she knows it's hopeless for her love to succeed, so that's why she will slowly turn herself into a girl that he will like. But while she was saying it, her eyes became dead serious. As a result, he says she can't just keep on stalking him, because this will only make his brother's reputation to get bad. To which suddenly asks him to plant a listening device on his brother's room for her. As a result, he got shocked, and he shouts at her by saying he will never do it. She then tells him to not shout. As a result, he closes his mouth. And he goes on by whispering that he won't be helping her in doing crimes. As a result, while curling her hair, she says she don't get it, because he is talking to her by saying he wants to help her, but he doesn't want to take any actions towards it. As a result, she jokingly asks to him if he is in love with her, to which he silently stands there with a red face. And this made her to get shocked and blush at the same time. As a result, he sits on the chair, and he tells the truth, which was he fell in love with her at the first sight. But at that time she was in the relationship with his brother, so he doesn't know what to do at that time. But since she is so messed up now, he just wanted to help her, and do whatever it takes. Meanwhile, he thoughts to himself it was a shitty love confession. But then she started to smile while blushing. In the end, she suddenly asks him to lend her a hand to help her find the missing pieces of his brothers, which shocks him, but then she says she will not ask him to do it for free. With a blushing face, she says she will do anything for the service he is doing to her. After hearing the word anything, he gets flustered. Also, he can choose anything he wants her to do, but if he wants to stop this exchanges, he can stop at any moment. And she will respect it. So with this, MC and her, and his brother, everyone is happy, even though it's not for a long time. After hearing it, he blushingly accepts his fate. And he goes on by asking her to pay the prices in advance. Afterwards, he suddenly wakes up, and he thoughts to himself he slept really well last night. After seeing him, his brother says he woken up pretty sooner than normal day. And then before leaving, he says he won't come home for dinner. As a result, MC jokingly asks to his brother if he got a girlfriend or something. To which he just replies it's sort of like that. In the end, he just left. MC then finally realizes that's really bad. Afterwards, his brother is spinning a ball in his hand for a minute, and he tells to MC he can probably do it for an hour. Meanwhile, she is watching it as in video by saying she wants him to spank her for an hour like that. MC then goes on by saying he wants to fee for today is to touch her cheeks, which is he wants to touch it using his both hands. As a result, she quickly accepts it. In the end, he started to touch it, and while doing it, he looks at her blushingly. After finishing it, she says that they should head back to their respective homes, since their daily exchange is over. He then suddenly remembers the time his brother told him about his new girlfriend. All of the sudden, she even asks to him if he got something to say to her. MC just says it's nothing by covering the truth from her. Afterwards, while walking back to his home, he thoughts to himself that he doesn't hear any rumors about a creepy girl following his brother. In the end, he gets relieved since she is actually following the rules he gave her, which is to not follow his brother at the campus, since it will ruin his reputation. Afterwards, at the next day, he says good morning to the girl next to him, and then he gets shocked, because she is reading a manga that he knows about. To which she goes on by saying she already read this, but it was really interesting, so she bought it to the school to read it again. In the end, he started to happily explain the plot of the story to her, but after hearing it, she stays silent, and then she suddenly says if the heroine did know more information about what was going, the ending would been much different. Which shocks him. In the end, he messaged Akira that his brother got a girlfriend. After doing it, he silently sleeps, but he quickly got a reply from her, but this time she says she already know about the truth. In the end, he calls Akira, And when she picked up the call, MC's first question was if she is stalking her brother. To which she replies, she did promised him on not stalking his brother on the school, so as a result she decided to follow him after school while wearing a disguise. But this scared him, and he says if she taking this very seriously. All this time. She then suddenly says she will stop stalking his brother if he finds her one time, which is like a detective. As a result, MC says detectives are a respectful job, so her stalking doesn't come under a job called detective. As a result, she says everyone is working for a goal or to fulfill a purpose. No, everyone is working so they can live life. And it's the same for her too. As a result, she doesn't really care if his brother got a girlfriend or married, as long as in the end she is right beside his side, that's all that matters. He then suddenly thoughts to himself that he was wrong about Akira all this time, because she is not just a cute girl. Meanwhile, she cuts the call, while thinking to herself on what type of stories of his brother, that new girlfriend of him, will bring to her after getting close to by her own ways.